A long time ago, in a galaxy far away, two nerds set out to make a show. This is that show.
Welcome to Nerdity. I'm Kai, Rita Repulsa Von Doom.
And I'm Shawn, caramelish, almost Black Ranger.
All right. Today we have a treat for you guys. We have a guest.
So it's Atari. This is absolutely absurd, Monroe. It's good to be here. I got my X-Men shirt on today, rocking my comic book shirt. I've been excited to come by. We should have a good night here.
Yeah, I love it. Speaking of X-Men and comic books, our first topic for tonight is going to be what Marvel character would be best on RuPaul's Drag Race.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Am I allowed to go first? How does this go here?
I thought Shawn was going to say something. You said that's a good one. What's your opinion?
Well, since you guys pressure me, let me go ahead and jump right into it. I think that the best one on RuPaul's Drag Race is probably going to be Spider-Man because of Tom Holland. If we're going based on the actor and the character, I think Spider-Man is going to kill it on there. Because when he did lip sync battle, he did the girl role and he did real excellent in that. He looked the part and everything.
He did Rihanna Under My Umbrella.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was banging. I remember that.
His makeup was trash though.
Yeah.
But
he has like a fishy enough face that I get what Shawn's saying. You know, he has like that soft, like Timothy Chalamet look. Like, yeah.
He has great cheekbones, a great jawline.
And he's British too, and I feel like British people pull off drag and cross-dressing very, very naturally. Like a lot of British people just perform stand-up comedy like that and shit.
Yeah, definitely. He does have a good look. So I think for this topic, I win. 100 points to Gryffindor.
See, I've noticed that on episodes that I've watched. Is there points on here? Is there a scoring system, or is that
there is no?
The points are
because if that's the case,
the points are meaningless
at this point.
It seems like Shawn's attempting to win something.
But they are points.
So if we're talking Marvel characters in RuPaul's Drag Race, obviously we can't do shapeshifters. But I would love to see Nightcrawler in RuPaul's Drag Race. With the blue, he already has like an amazing canvas for all types of makeup looks that other guys would not be able to pull off. And he's very slender, so he could add a lot of padding, and he has like the right look for high fashion concepts. He'd be a very unique drag queen, I think.
No, that's one of the most correct choices. That was one of mine. You swiped one off of my list. That was like the second person I thought of when I was thinking of like the people to jot down for this. Cause yeah, he's just like swaggy and he has like, it seems like he has like the right figure and shit. And yeah, if you put like fucking black makeup over his blue skin, like black lipstick, like, oh, it looks so fucking ridiculous. Like he could do like the intergalactic style, you know what I mean?
Oh, if he did the Rihanna Fenty, she had like this one collaboration that was just all these icy blues, and I'm just picturing that icy blue shimmer on him with the black lipstick. It would be fantastic.
Speaking of fantastic, that was who I had besides Nightcrawler, because I feel like he could just morph his shit to any, like he could morph it to like a thick bitch or like a really skinny like LA 90s girl, or you know what I mean? Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic. Because couldn't he, in theory, he wouldn't even have to pad? Like, couldn't he just shape his body however he wanted to present?
He could.
We got to check in with the referee and ask her, is that acceptable? If he can basically shape
it's not shape shifting.
Like,
he's changing his shape, but not in a shape shifting way. Like he's not able to become a different. You know, it still looks like Reed Richards stretched in different ways. Like.
Oh, because it's not his face.
He can
only like
appear like a different person. He can just he's elastic, you know what I mean? So I would think he could like stretch, you know, like his hips inward and his ass out, and he could stretch everything to look how it would be painful for him. Like maybe using his power that long would bother him, you know what I mean? But he'd just have to hit his lip sync, hit the runway, get his money, and then get out. You know what I mean?
In my eyes, he would still have to do his hair and makeup and everything. He would still have to physically get into drag.
Right, like it's
whereas someone like Mystique could just all of a sudden have the hair, makeup, everything done. Which, speaking of which, I know there are no drag kings on RuPaul's Drag Race, but there have been on different drag competition shows, like on Dragula. So I would have to add, I would love to see Jubilee as a drag king. I think that would be
dope.
top notch. I could see her doing it.
That would be really sick. Blade would be really dope, like a vicious
Blade
fucking like horror queen, like, and then with
Yes.
his skin tone and shit, and I could picture him like having like a mohawk type shit for like the female version of him, like a long fucking mohawk, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think Gambit would also be another one that'd be fantastic as a drag king.
Oh, it's true. Like a Southern belle.
Oh, yeah.
He's from like Louisiana too, huh?
Yes.
He would have to be like a
There's
country
drag
queen, yeah.
named Louisiana Purchase. I could totally see Gambit having a similar persona to her and just being like the sweet Southern belle with like a grimy side.
Right. Yeah, that would be pretty
Gambit's
solid
Gambit's
too.
a good choice. I can't even front on that. Gambit would be a good choice for that. I think he'd kill it. Not as much as Spider-Man, of course. That's why I got all the points. But
Well, I was also thinking, yeah, if it was MCU or if, you know, I was trying to think on both levels, but I was also just kind of thinking from the comics, you know, like
Mhm.
Iceman would be
thinking
cool
of
for the same reason as Nightcrawler. Iceman would look wild because he's just looks like a sculpture, you know what I mean, like an
Yeah.
ice sculpture.
Oh damn, I haven't said anyone MCU yet. I think Doctor Strange, MCU wise, I think Benedict Cumberbatch has like a very interesting face. So it would make for him to be able to pull off some really wild drag looks, I think.
I think Chris Evans would kill that.
Maybe he's
He's
pretty
very
built up.
muscular.
It would look kind of funny.
Yeah.
He's too jacked.
Yeah,
he's
that's true. His
he has
body-
too big of shoulders and shit like that.
His
and
body,
yeah,
but his face is real girly. Like his face.
But then again, I don't think he doesn't want to stay in good shape because he was real excited that he was done playing Captain America, and that's why he cited he was so happy because he didn't have to work out and shit anymore.
Yeah,
So
but
I mean, his shape's going to change a little bit
because
because he's not playing Steve Rogers anymore.
yeah,
What
but
about,
we're talking about him as Steve Rogers though, right?
That's a good point. Yeah, if he's gone as Steve Rogers, then he would no longer be eligible for the conversation. Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
What
I mean,
about
Loki,
Atari-
obviously, like Loki has like a really
Yeah, I
good
was about to say.
androgynous look, just like Doctor Strange, like in
Yeah.
the way his face, Tom Hiddleston's face is shaped and shit.
I think Loki and drag would just be looking like Hella, which
I'm
is
just gonna say it is Hella,
amazing.
basically. Yeah,
yeah, I love her.
but she
Yeah.
has a badass fucking look. Her look slays hard as hell. Yeah, her look is dope.
And in the comics, Loki does transform into a woman sometimes. So it fits in
True.
with the comic book version of his character if he were to have a drag alter ego.
Right.
Would he because he can shapeshift? Not would he disqualify, but wouldn't these people that can shapeshift have to stay in their natural form in order to compete?
I'll allow it.
So then Mystique could be in there, and she has a real interesting look too.
As a drag king or as a bio queen?
As I don't know exactly what the difference
So
is.
a drag king would be her basically taking
Well,
on
there's
a male
people,
persona.
there's bio queens who perform and do drag, but there's they're cis
Yeah.
women doing drag.
So a bio queen would be like if a woman was still dressing up as a drag queen. So they do all the drag makeup and like the extravagant wigs and stuff, but they're still naturally a woman.
Right, and it's
No,
like
no,
you'd
no, as a
expect,
drag
like
king.
some people approve of it and some don't. But yeah, it's a
Yeah.
cis woman doing women impersonation. Yeah,
No, I think that. Well, I mean, like she could do either, huh? Because she doesn't look like a human anyway. So, in order to pull off a human look, that would be a whole aspect in and of itself.
right.
but
If
I-
it wasn't just drag, if it was just like Drag Race or America's Top Model, or if it was just like best characters for like a runway type character, then Mystique would be up there, obviously. Because yeah, Mystique's look is crazy. So if you just took drag out of it and it was like the best like
which one,
character to
Jennifer
be in the
Lawrence,
fashion world,
Jennifer Lawrence or Rebecca Romaine? Which one would be
Rebecca
better?
Romaine, for sure.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I've seen all the MCU, but I don't know if I've even seen Rebecca Romaine's version of Mystique. Which
You
movie
have.
is that?
That's the one with Halle Berry and like all the original ones with Patrick Stewart and Halle Berry, the older X-Men movies.
She was tall and skinny.
I mean, I've seen at least one of the ones with
Did
Halle,
you
but
see
I
the
don't know if
one
I've
with
seen that one.
Juggernaut?
Mm-hmm.
The first one with Juggernaut, not Deadpool.
Yeah, the first one with Juggernaut.
Yeah. In that one, she's the one who rescued him.
Okay. That's crazy. I didn't even realize she was like an actress. Like I thought she was just a model.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
she's.
she started off as a model, but yeah, she acts as well.
Probably.
I have a
Thanks,
question.
man.
What do you guys think that, like you were saying, Mr. Fantastic could like stretch his body to look like more appropriate or whatever? Do you think that Mrs. Incredible makes herself look that thick, or is she actually that thick?
Oh, she does have like similar powers to him, like the elastic
Yeah.
powers.
So do you think she's just like basically like holding in her stomach all day and like holding out her hips and stuff, or that's how
No.
she's built?
No, because
Probably
being
not.
thick was not popular with white women when that movie came out. Also, in the first movie, there was a scene where she was looking at her butt in the mirror, like, "Oh man, why is my butt so big?" So no, she's not making herself thick.
I don't think it'd be possible long term because just like Mr. Fantastic, like wouldn't it slowly drain away their powers? Like she couldn't just use her powers 24/7 like that, could she?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Like all their
I guess
powers,
it's like
they get weaker. It seems like most
I
heroes.
guess it'd be like if you were walking around with your stomach sucked in all day. Like, could you do that all day? I don't know. I don't think you could. I think some girls do though.
Walk around with their stomach held in all day? No. If you're wearing a waist trainer or something, then yeah. But I don't think people just suck in their
Oh,
stomach.
that's what it is, huh? It's a waist trainer. Because I've seen some girls like they look skinnier than how they actually look, and like they look like that all day at like school and stuff, and like they'll just be looking skinny, and then they'll see them later and they're like all big and like confused. But I
Yeah,
think
that's what
it is
happens
the
if
waist
you
Oh,
wear a waist trainer. Like Violet Chachki wears like waist trainers like that fucking big, and
yeah.
he doesn't even look like human. Like you know what I mean? It
It's
just
scary.
snatches your shit all the way. Yeah, it's dangerous. Like if you fucking like move too fast, you could like kill yourself. Like it's
You could
dangerous to do it as small as Violet.
organs around.
Yeah, you can fuck shit up. Like it's like a weird, it's almost reminds me of like when they do the rings on the neck or it's like a weird, like risky fashion thing. Yeah.
Remember, people used to wear. I think they're called corsets.
A
Can you
corset
imagine?
basically is a waist trainer. It's just
Pretty much the same
made
thing,
for the
yeah.
modern world.
That's crazy. Those things look painful.
They are. Don't you have to like slowly work up to the small ones? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, no,
I
I'll
get
send
it.
you a picture. There's one season of Drag Race where Violet Chachki does this look with like a air tank, and oh my God, it's
Yeah,
it's hard to
I
watch.
was
It
in
looks like it would be
pain.
painful. Yeah.
I was in pain just looking at it.
Yeah, it's fucking psychotic.
What do you guys like about Drag Race? Like, what's appealing about it? Is it just like the show aspect of it? Like is high entertainment value or?
It's everything tied into one. Like there's all their storyline, like all the different people, just like some like American Idol or something like that. But then yeah, they're all competing in little challenges against each other, and then all the episodes just end with a lip sync. Like lip sync's like a rap battle. Like the lip sync is like the main thing, and lip syncs is how you make your made money, just like performing in rap. Like you just go lip sync and you're dressed up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of the fashion and the lip syncs are so memorable. Like I still go back and watch old lip syncs from other seasons where I'm like, oh man, this one was amazing. I gotta rewatch it. And then of course there's all the shadiness and drama behind the scenes.
Yeah, like it's hilarious. Like they throw shade constantly. Like it's like the LGBTQ version of just how rappers are. You know what I mean? Like they're all just like really fucking like bitchy to each other, and like, oh my God, it's fucking hilarious. Like, and they all come in and say ridiculous shit when they first come into the workroom. You know what I mean? And that's like their first look that establishes them and everything. And yeah, there's just outrageous people like Alyssa Edwards and like Trixie and fucking Katya, and there's just like hilarious fucking people like that. They're just as funny as like regular comedians. I told you Katya and Trixie were on Vice for a little bit. Like they have had shows picked up and shit.
And there's queens from my city who have been on there, who I've like met in person, and I want to see how they act different on the show.
Yeah,
versus
yeah. There's
stories I've
that
heard about
factor.
them.
Yeah,
But yeah, Pandora Box and Darien Lake are both from my city. So I've like one of my close friends is a drag queen, so I've like encountered them a few times before and after they were on the show. But Pandora doesn't really come back to Rochester at all. So yeah, I don't know who I'm excited about yet though. I need to watch another episode first.
it was a weird fucking episode. Just everybody lip syncing against each other. No challenges.
It was definitely a weird way to start the season.
Is it kind of like not Chopped, but they have like the worst chef in America? Have you guys ever watched that?
Yeah.
That was good. Is it kind of like that feel like of competition or?
I mean, I wouldn't compare it to that because these are people who are at the top of their craft. I would say it's more like, I don't know, have you ever seen Ink Master?
Yes, like once or twice.
So you know how on Ink Master they have like the mini challenges, like the flash challenges, where it's like, oh, you have to tattoo on like this pig skin or something stupid like that. And then they have the main challenge where they have to like actually tattoo someone, and then the bottom two will go head to head. It's just like that on Drag Race.
Yeah, that was kind of the comparison I was making. Like Forging
like
Fire,
sometimes
or,
they have to make teams and it's like 4-on-4, or everybody's in teams of 2s, like duos, or
but
or they have
like
to do like a whole musical and all work together. Yeah.
It's like small events leading up to one big event at the end, and then you get to know all the characters throughout as it progresses.
Right.
Okay, that's
right,
cool.
because they talk like the real world or something. So as you're seeing the filming of what's going on, then it goes to like the confessional style, like real world, where they're talking about what's going on. And then they're talking even way more shit on the other people. It's fucking great.
Yeah, I love it.
That's cool. Yeah, I might check it out then, for sure. I think I'm going to once I can find an outlet to watch it.
So have you seen the legendary Girl Look How Fucking Orange You Look then, Kai?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, there's so many legendary moments. There's just really memorable comedy moments, just like a regular show, but it's just like a reality show, you know what I mean? And it's slightly real. They just all overdo it.
Yeah, there's so many quotables. Like I'll go whenever I don't like somebody, I'm like, this is not RuPaul's best friend race. And it's like,
yeah.
I don't want to be your friend.
Who was that? Was that Chandler? No, who
it
was
a
that?
Black girl. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was a black queen. Oh, who the fuck was that?
Damn, this is killing me now.
Yeah, that was a really good one. But yeah, I think lots of things like that. Did you see the last All Stars with the sensible 74 degrees?
Yeah.
That show was great. And Shea Coulee and just the whole takeover of Shea Coulee was one of my favorite things of the shitty ass 2020.
Shea is one of my all-time favorite queens. I love her.
See, I didn't really appreciate her how I should have the first time, but the All-Stars, like right when she walked in the workroom, I was like, holy fuck, Shea is a badass. Why did I never realize that?
Because they like more focused on Sasha Velour and all of them on her.
Yeah, they didn't highlight Shea at all on the original season. So yeah, that's true. All-Stars, they actually highlighted Shea, and I was like, damn, Shea is fucking dope.
What'd you guys think about Chikani Wonder Bread?
Chikani Wonder Bread?
Yeah, what'd you guys think about him or her?
Is that your drag alter ego?
Yeah, that's mine. I when I debut as a drag queen, I'm gonna be Chikani Wonder Bread.
Okay.
I don't know what to say to that.
That's my hair flip.
I think this is a perfect place to move it along. So our next topic.
I was just letting you guys talk about that. Okay, but yeah, next on the list of topics here, we have what actors would be good in a Power Rangers reboot. And I'm really curious to hear your guys' list.
Okay, I think I will go first. I have my list pulled up right here. So I'm going to start with the villains. I'm Von Doom. I am a villain. R.I.P. MF Doom. So for the villains, I'm going to have Lord Zed, I think, should be played by Idris Elba. I think he has that commanding presence. He has, the statuesque nature. He'd get big and buff to play Lord Zed. And obviously, he'd be wearing all the prosthetics and the mask, but I think his voice is still cool enough and recognizable enough that he'd have that star power. For Rita Repulsa, I think Ming Na should play her, who, she was in The Mandalorian. She played Mulan, obviously. So she's normally playing these heroic characters, but she's still used to being a badass. And I think she has the right look for Rita and, again, that star power. For the Red Ranger, I picked Ludi Lin, who is going to be playing... He's pretty unknown now. He was in an episode of Black Mirror. that went kind of viral for a lot of the homoerotic undertones in it. But he's going to be playing Liu Kang in the new Mortal Kombat movie.
Oh,
So I think that he would be a good choice for the Red Ranger. For the Pink Power Ranger, I chose Anya Taylor-Joy from Queen's Gambit and The Witch, one of my favorite horror movies. Aisha D, a Black Australian actress, I want her as the Blue Ranger. I think she could do kind of the nerdy, quirky role of the Blue Ranger. Jarrell Jerome from Moonlight, I would have playing the Yellow Ranger. And then Avon Jogia from the show Victorious. I don't know if you watched that when you were a kid, or maybe you're too young for it, but I would pick him as the final Power Ranger. And for Zordon, I would have Vincent D'Onofrio, who played Wilson Fisk in, what was it? In the Daredevil Netflix
yeah,
show.
he was dope.
I think he'd be a perfect Zordon. And I know there already is talk of a Power Rangers reboot happening within the next coming years. So I doubt they would use any of this cast, but I think that would just be just full of A-listers as well as people who are kind of unknown, but still like on the verge of becoming famous.
Man, I would say you probably get the points for this, but let's see what everybody else's list look like.
You got more points on the board.
Yeah, we're tied up right now.
How?
Because I got the points for the
Marvel my list. I didn't know we were playing for points, but if we are playing for points, then I'm about to just take all the points off the board here and just scoop all the chips over to my side of the table. I had Idris Elba in there as well, but I thought it would be really interesting to put him as Zordon. Obviously also because he has such a phenomenal voice, but I think it would just be great with just his face floating there. You know, obviously he has a beautiful face regardless if you're putting his body in it or not. So I think him just floating out there talking with the Idris Elba voice would be a beautiful thing. For Rita Repulsa, I had the gorgeous Angela Bassett. I think that would be a lot of fun and just off the chain if it was kind of like a blend of how the old one looked and that newer one with the green and shit. You know, the look would have to be somewhere in between there. But I think Angela Bassett for Rita Repulsa would be crazy as shit.
That would be amazing.
For the Rangers here, I have the Blue Ranger. I have Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino, and he would be a nerdy Donald Glover, similar to how he is in Community, and he would have glasses. And for the Yellow Ranger, I have the beautiful Yari Shahiri.
Oh, I love her.
From Blackish, of course. She's going to be my Yellow Ranger. And I don't really think her personality out, but, you know, I trust her with creative control with it. For the Black Ranger, I had Aquafina.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't know Aquafina, she's from Crazy Rich Asians. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Also Nora from Queens, that show. And then she raps.
Isn't she in the new Jumanji?
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't think so. Was she?
I thought she was.
No, I was familiar with her because of music.
Aquafina, right?
Mm-hmm.
Aquafina. Let's look
for my Pink Ranger, I have Karuchi Tron.
That's a good choice.
And she would be similar to the Kimberly, you know, the Pink Ranger in the original series. Like, she's casted there because she's supposed to be like the girly, like popular girl at school, you know what I mean? She's that one. For my leader, I have someone who I think, you know, could go from, he starts off a little bit nerdy, you know, but then he's quite a badass by the time he gets the red. That's always how it works with Red, right? You know, like, he's not super hip, but then Red gets it, and then he becomes like a real cool cat. You know, he adapts all these leadership qualities and everything. So for the Red, I have also from Blackish, Marcus Scribner. Is that how you pronounce it? Scribner? Marcus Scribner?
I think it's Scribner.
So yeah, I mean, just imagine this lined up. Aquafina, Donald Glover, Yari Shahiri, Karuchi Tron, and Marcus Schreibner. I'm sorry, Marcus. I don't know how to pronounce it. But yeah, imagine those 5 just lined up. And then if you bring in Tommy, when you bring in the White Ranger or the Green Ranger, this is the Ranger who was like a former leader in school. And then he comes back in. I don't think it's how it is in the original, but that's how it is in mine. This is a former Ranger that, leaves and come back, right? And for that, I have Zac Efron.
Yes.
So he's a bit older than the rest, you know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, I think this is something that a director or producer would be happy to pick up. So I mean, I'm not trying to outdo Kai's list, obviously, and Kai's was really good. But if there's any points or anything like that, I think I received more points than Shawn for that list, regardless what Shawn ends up saying.
Oh my goodness, you receive more points than me.
What do you think, Kai? Would I get more points than Shawn on that one, regardless what he says?
200%. I think I also have more points than him for my list.
Right. I think we both do. That's what I mean. I'm not coming for Kai, just Shawn, since Shawn is all about winning points and winning every.
If your list doesn't have Idris on it, it's already over. I don't want to hear it.
So for the Pink Ranger, I'm thinking Idris Elba. You like that? That one was okay.
That's the first thing you've ever said that I've laughed at.
It's like the second or third for me, and I've done a lot of content with him. Yeah.
No, but I'm thinking Tom Holland somewhere in there. I like Zac Efron and
Tom would be a cool Power Ranger.
Yeah. I liked Zac Efron and Donald Glover, both of them. I was thinking on my list. So I was like, when he said that, I was like, can't just have points for that because I'm thinking the similar thing. And Tom Holland wins.
So which roles do you have them in though? Which color suits do you have? Because some of the suits have significance. What colors do you have them in?
I know there's the nerdy one, and I don't know what color that is. I think it's blue.
Blue.
That's on the movie he was autistic, right?
He's usually like real intelligent or nerdy, or he might have been autistic in the movie. That makes sense.
Yeah, Donald Glover, like you said for that.
Right? Wouldn't he kill that shit if he was just like this nerdy, like kind of socially awkward, like? And I'm thinking the glasses, like the original Billy had.
And I can imagine he
maybe a little like short afro, not a super well kept haircut, but not super messy either. And then the glasses, yeah, it'd be great.
Yeah. And then probably Zac Efron for that leader role. The Pink Ranger, probably it's like a lot of the people I'm thinking are older now. Like even Donald Glover is older now,
right.
So I don't know if it necessarily fit, but like there's movies where these people would be perfect fits. But Kristen Bell, if she was younger, or Kirsten Dunst.
What I have for a backup for the Pink behind Karuchi Tron, but I went against because like you were saying, like she's older now, like she's actually just about to have a baby or whatever. But I had Emma Roberts for one of my, like, she'd be a badass Kimberly to, you know what I mean? Make her after Kimberly. She'd be a perfect Pink Ranger at the right age.
You know who? The girl from Tron Legacy, I think it's Tron Legacy or the Tron movie. The Olivia Wilde, I think is her name.
Yeah, Olivia Wilde, yeah.
Yeah, I think she'd be firing that Pink Ranger role.
You guys all picked older people. I tried to pick people who are still playing teenagers on TV.
I know, that's why when you said your list, I was like, that's hard. Like she really was like casting this like she was a real casting director. She went.
I did too, though. Mine is all people that passed as real young. Zac Efron comes back as the White Ranger, and remember he was older than them. Like he was significantly older.
Is Zac Efron older than Donald Glover?
Zac Efron is like in his early 30s.
Yeah, he's like 30.
Probably around the same age.
But I think so is Donald Glover, isn't he?
Yeah, that's why I said they're probably around the same age. Yeah.
True. And I could work Donald in the story some different way, but at the same time, I think Donald still passes.
Looks older than Donald Glover, though.
Yeah, Zac Efron, like especially in the last few years, like his look has taken on. He couldn't play a young person. Yeah.
Oh, God.
If Travis Gambino shaved the beard, he could easily play a teenager.
Guys, this is crazy. So Zac Efron is 33 years old, and he looks older than that a little bit. He could play a teenager if he wanted to because of his physique and stuff, but he looks a little bit older. He looks in his 30s. But Donald Glover looks like 25 or 26, and he's 37, guys.
Oh wow.
That's crazy. He looks way younger than he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Zac Efron does look older than Donald Glover.
Right.
That's crazy. He's like 4 years
Yeah,
younger.
it just has to work in storyline. You know what I mean? If Donald Glover is 50 and he looks how he looks, then he would still be castable in younger role. Like
I mean,
that's how they've
Angela
always
Bassett
done
still
it.
plays 30-year-olds.
Right. I mean, Eddie could still play 30-year-olds too. You know, there's quite a few like older actors
Yeah.
who play a lot younger people.
Will Smith
Zac
was holding
Efron
on to
looks
that
his
for
age.
so long. Will Smith was holding on to that youthful look for so long, and he just is barely losing it now.
And
Well,
he died so
how old
great.
is Tom Cruise? Like his characters
50.
are supposed to be like early 30s. Yeah.
Yeah, he's 50. Or I think he just had his 50th birthday, or he's like 52 right now.
Keanu Reeves is almost 60, and he's still playing like 30.
Keanu Reeves is another one. Yeah, a lot of people have a look where it's like they can keep playing much younger people. But Zac Efron, I think, yeah, when you put all my Rangers, the main five as a group, Zac Efron looks, you know, like they're senior.
Yeah, Zac
Tom Cruise
Efron.
is 60.
I'd say Zac Efron looks my age. Like he looks 28.
You think so? I mean, I'm strangely more with Shawn on this one. I think he looks like 35.
I don't think so. I think he looks young for a white boy, especially.
I think he looks
young.
good, but I don't really think he's aged gracefully either. You know what I mean?
No, he still looks young. You must not have seen Zac Efron, or you must not know what he looks like. But
I just saw him on that shockingly vile, exceedingly whatever that movie, the when he was a serial killer,
where he was playing Ted Bundy in the 70s. Of course, he was dressed up like he was in the 70s.
I haven't seen that yet. Is that good?
Oh my god, it's so good. You gotta watch it. It's like a crazy good movie.
I don't support glorifying serial killers, so I probably won't watch it, but I've heard that he was good in it.
Yeah,
It makes him look so twisted. It makes him look scary. It doesn't. I wouldn't say. It depends on how you look at it, because some people get like hyped up about serial killers and are like, "Oh my god, Ted Bundy" or whatever. But like to me, I was like, this dude is twisted. Like I'm just glad they executed him. Like,
yeah, and it's like Ted Bundy has a ton of fangirls, and he was ugly as hell. Why would you get pretty ass Zac Efron to play him? Because you want to like lean into the fact that he has these fangirls and people like swooning over him. And just like any podcast you hear about him, all they talk about, oh, Ted Bundy was so handsome and clever. No, he wasn't. They just didn't have fucking forensics in the 70s, so he could do whatever.
But I mean, they've done that, you know what I mean, to cast him for that. Like they've done that throughout history with a lot of male and female roles, like figures that weren't necessarily attractive people. They'll get attractive actors to play them, you know.
But she's saying, why would they do it with the serial killer?
Yeah, what other serial killer?
Yeah, that makes it weird. Yeah.
Yeah, what other serial killer have they made to a heartthrob like that?
Yeah,
usually
like a real life one, at least, like a biopic. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, usually they'll take attractive actors and ugly them up, like they did with Charlize Theron in Monster.
Because I like it if they're fake, like Terrifier, or you know what I mean. Like I like it if they're fake, but yeah, if they're like a biopic like that, I can't think of
Zac Efron is the only time I could think of that they like prettied up an actor to play a real life serial killer, and I think
as a killer, definitely true.
Did you guys know that Tom Cruise was almost 60?
Yeah, he's been around forever.
I thought he was 50 years old, and that surprised me.
He was like what, in his 20s when he started making movies in the 80s. So,
well, how old's Johnny Depp? Yeah, like lots of people, they can play a lot younger shit, you know.
Yeah, Tom Cruise was another one who was in his 20s playing teenagers.
Right, and when they're in their 20s and 30s, that's when they can play all the high school roles. Like, I mean, Emma Roberts still could if she wanted to. Like, some people can do it all the way into their 30s. Like, yeah.
Guys, I'm stuck on this age thing. These people's ages are surprising me. Johnny Depp is 57 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good topic, but yeah, lots of them are it's a good half of the hitters that are able to do that. Yeah.
Okay, this one's more appropriate. Hugh Jackman.
More appropriate for what?
Yeah.
Like I would actually expect this age from him.
Points deducted for Shawn. If the point system is anywhere, deduct some points.
I think
deduct him off the board, Kai.
Robert Downey Jr. too. I expected him to be this age, but I think it's because I knew how old he was.
Yeah, he was on like Saturday Night Live before I was born, so I know he's old.
Yeah.
Yeah, he like fell off and had issues and had like a comeback. Like he already had like a whole second wind. Yeah. But he was like really big before he had issues and fell off.
Yeah, those were like home movies were like the revitalization of his career, and then once he was Iron Man, he fully came back.
Yeah, he also did Tropic Thunder in that period.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Tropic Thunder. Didn't he
it's pretty great, to be honest.
Are we like black people, are we supportive of Tropic Thunder or no?
I don't think you speak for black people, but I love Tropic Thunder, honestly.
I do. I love Tropic Thunder, and I don't know. I thought it was a good performance. I thought he did the role justice, like what he was given and everything. I thought he did the role justice. So I didn't find any offense in that.
I will never say this again in my life, but this was an appropriate use of blackface because he was more making fun of the Hollywood movies that do that. And I think it was good satire.
Yeah.
Right. With the context, I don't think any somewhat intelligent people were offended. And I mean, if dumb people are offended, that's what always happens with anything. Of course, dumb people will be offended because they don't understand what's going on, you know. But yeah, I think the way that it was done, like most of the people I've seen speak on it were cool with it. Like I was watching Jamie Foxx speak on it and he thought it was great. Because yeah, you have to know the actual context and what they're doing. Like, yeah, he's not actually, he is doing it, but he's not doing it. Like he's a character doing it, like making fun of that they would actually do that. You know what I mean? And then there's a real black actor casted in it, so they always have like a back and forth the whole time.
He said, "What do you mean, you people? What do you mean, you people?"
Yeah, that was part of the comeback. That was a big comedy. Like, yeah.
Is Tropic Thunder one of the GOAT level movies?
I think people use GOAT too loosely because I would not say it was one of the greatest movies.
But like, I mean, if you do the tier list, is it in the top tier?
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it is, but it was hilarious.
Yeah, the GOAT term is just used way too freely in anything, but for its era, it was a really good comedy. But overall, no, it's not like one of the greats or anything.
Is it above or below 40-Year-Old Virgin? Because that's to me like my favorite.
40-Year-Old Virgin has a pretty big, piece in like cultural history.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would put it below 40-Year-Old Virgin, honestly.
Yeah, I think so. Regardless which one I would enjoy more or laugh at more, I think 40-Year-Old Virgin is definitely way more prevalent. And yeah,
Judd
Apatow for sure.
Judd Apatow makes some of the greatest movies. Not like to give it a GOAT title unnecessarily, but I do think.
And it shouldn't really age badly at all. Like there's not really much risk of it aging poorly, or so yeah, it'll hold up over time. Okay. And yeah, I would say Tropic Thunder is quite a bit below that, but it was one of the funniest comedies like of that era, like of the time period. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Tom Cruise was surprising because I didn't even know that was
Tom Cruise was funny as shit in
that.
I didn't even know that was him until after the credits.
Yeah.
That's the only Tom Cruise role I love besides the vampire one. What's the movie where he plays a vampire?
Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
But yeah, I like that, and then I like.
You guys didn't like Risky Business?
Bender's character.
I don't think I've ever seen Risky Business.
When he slides out in his socks and his underwear, and
I know that scene, but I've never seen the movie.
Oh, that's what that iconic scene is from? No, I haven't seen that movie, but I know the scene. I've seen that and the recreations of it and shit, of course.
Yeah, it's at least as good as Grease or something, like one of those older movies. It's a pretty good classic movie.
Okay, so for our next topic, we had one that's been brought up several times, and Shawn has been wrong every single time. Let's talk about, would Batman be able to beat Black Widow? Of course not. But Shawn, I'll let you state your wrong opinion.
I don't think that's how it was worded on the topics list. I think it was worded a little differently than that.
I am a comedian and an entertainer. I take the notes and I make them entertaining. Now, again, state your wrong opinion.
Sounded about
Batman.
right to me. Sounded like it was worded correctly.
Black Widow. Batman gonna kill Black Widow. I'm not even going front. Like, there's no other way of looking at it. Black Man gonna beat Black Widow senseless. Like, he gonna be like, bad kid, and spank her. Like, everything you could possibly think of, Batman gonna do that to Black Widow in the worst possible way. He gonna tear her up. She's not keeping up with Batman. I'm sorry, you guys are silly.
Absolutely ridiculous. Batman doesn't stand a chance in hell against Black Widow. That would be an ugly fight. It would be a very fast fight unless Black Widow wanted to make it like a big cinematic scene, you know what I mean? If there was like news cameras there and shit. Because you know how it is when the heroes fight each other. Like, all the local news team comes out and, you know, it's on every channel, you know. Batman and Black Widow are out here fighting, you know, everybody's tuned in and everything like that. So maybe if all the cameras were there and she wanted it to look really cool, maybe it would seem like a fair fight. But if there was no cameras around, or there was no, you know, none of Black Widow's crushes standing nearby, or there was nobody that she needed to impress, then she would just squash him like a fly. You know what I mean? It would be the fastest, it'd be the quickest death there's ever been if you could have a DC versus Marvel.
There's a reason why the Batman comics are called Detective Comics, because he's just a fucking cop. That's it. Like, he's not a superhero. He's not much of a fighter. That's why he has all these gadgets. He's just a spoiled rich kid. Black Widow is a weapon. She has been finely crafted as a weapon her whole life. She would annihilate Batman.
Right. The Batman comics should be called Wussman comics, is what the genre should be called. Because he's a little coward out there compared to Natasha Romanoff.
Batman threw on a suit and gave Superman to work. Black Widow not doing that. Like,
because it was necessary.
All her equipment, she's not gonna be able to mess with. She's not gonna be able to mess with Superman. Like, so Thor can't beat Superman.
We're not talking about Superman or Thor. We're talking about Batman and Black Widow. See, this is how you always.
No, I thought you said that she gave Thor the work, but
is this diversion?
No, because
you're changing the topic.
If Batman beats Superman and Superman can definitely beat Black Widow, then tier-wise, so Black Widow could beat Superman?
Wait a minute, Jonathan, let me stop you right there, because you are going all over the place. You keep talking about Superman. Nobody brought him up. The only reason Superman would lose to Batman is for the storyline. But because this is not a storyline, this is a hypothetical fight, we're talking about their actual abilities, not BS bad writing. Because Batman beating Superman is bad writing. So let's leave Kal-El out of this. We're talking about this little spoiled cop rich boy fighting Natasha, the baddest bitch, Romanoff.
Right, this little wuss man that just had some money and can't do anything to fend for himself.
He would reach into her back like a Mortal Kombat fatality, rip it out, and start eating meat off her ribs like they was.
You don't even know. You don't even know your homeboy like that, because doesn't he not kill people?
It wouldn't kill her.
I thought that was his whole thing.
It'd be a non-lethal fatality.
That's his code. Natasha has no problem killing some little wuss.
She would rip his heart out straight out of his back.
Guys, it's not even physically possible for her to beat Batman. This is Batman we're talking about versus Black Widow.
Batman is so low tier. He's just a human running around with a bunch of gadgets. He's a nobody.
If they fought, man, it wouldn't even be a fight.
Ask somebody outside of Gotham who Batman is and see if they even know who he is. Ask somebody even in Metropolis. A lot of people don't even know who Batman is. Nobody gives a shit. Exactly. Nobody cares outside of Batman. He's just a weirdo running around his town in his fucking suit. Nobody cares what's going on with Batman in the real world. You know what I mean?
Since you want to bring up who else they fight, he gets to work from a little clown constantly. Mm-hmm. He's fighting drug dealers and stuff and still not coming out with a flawless victory every time. So there's no way he can beat Black Widow.
Yeah, and the Riddler and shit like that. Just people who don't even have any mutant powers or anything. Like, Natasha's still kicking after fighting all these mutants and shit like that, and aliens and fucking, yeah.
Usually this comes down to, like, basis of, like, where they're fighting at or, like, scenario or, like, whatever. But I think, like, even if they were in space or if they were underwater or any scenario.
She could beat his ass in the Batcave. She could be inside the Batcave and she would kill him.
That is not facts. That is
You know how often she has to fight people with more money and better gadgets than Batman, and how often she still disarms them and still outsmarts them. So all of that is out the window. She's
not
out.
outsmarting Batman.
Of course,
And
is
she's not
Batman
going to
a
have that
genius?
hesitation like Batman because she doesn't fucking care.
Batman
She's
is
a
not a
trained
genius.
killer.
He's a regular dude.
No, he's a genius.
No, he's not. He's not even as smart as Tony Stark. And she could
I don't
she
know
could
about
outsmart
that.
Tony.
I don't know about that. She couldn't beat Tony. What? You guys are putting her on this like god tier. Like she's
Not even as smart
she's
as
one of
Alfred.
the-
Alfred is the brains of the operation.
When I say outsmart, she's not going to be doing equations with Tony Stark. I'm talking about strategic. I'm talking about a battle.
Yeah, and Tony Stark would definitely beat Black Widow.
You know, not every time.
Not
He could beat
okay,
her, but
not every time, because like I said, that would go down to scenario by scenario. But I think if they were to both be without any equipment, just raw fighting, I think that's the only scenario where she might pull ahead. If they were to put on their equipment and then Batman has his mind mixed with his money and his fighting ability on everything, like
His
every
money.
element.
Is he going to write her a check? Like, what are you talking about?
Because of his equipment.
And if he
can afford-
has his whole suit and all his weapons, then she would have her belt and her weapons too. So she would still win.
Batman's
Like I
stuff
said,
is
you know
better.
how often she disarms people with space technology from galaxies that she's not even familiar with? You don't think she could do the same to Batman?
Right. Whatever equipment he does have is she's gonna end up using on him anyway. So yeah, it's not a good scenario. Yeah.
If she took the Batman suit and put the Batman suit on, there's a chance that she could run with Batman. But that's like the only way. His equipment is way better than hers.
No, she would grab the Batman suit through the eye holes and fucking flip over backwards and throw his ass on the ground.
You need to read some more Avengers comics, and you need to read some Black Widow and Hawkeye comics.
You guys need to read some more Batman comics. Batman was out punching aliens and all that, like you guys are saying. He was doing all that harder.
Not on a regular basis, not as often as Natasha Romanoff is. And I would be willing to bet any amount of money that I have read more Batman comics than you.
I don't know about that. I read a lot of Batman comics.
I've worked in a comic book store for years.
Oh, you know what? You might have a point there. Let me take my money, save that, because that's a good point. If you worked in a comic book store, then you might have. But I used to go to the library and rent like tons of Spider-Man and Batman comics.
I used to get shit sent to me by DC. Like, I'm not just talking out of my ass like you.
Wait, I was gonna say, it doesn't sound like a real story, Shawn. This sounds like something that's just being made up on the spot.
Oh, I'm definitely serious. I used to have my little library card, go up there. They had the shelves in the
hike
tea
through the
section.
store, and I used to go up to the local comic vendor. He was the guy who had a shack set up right by the big oak tree, and I'd go up to his shack and I'd buy a few Spider-Man comics and a few Batman comics, and then I'd put them in my waterproof backpack, and I'd actually swim across the river with my new comics and head home, and then I would read them.
Yeah, a library is not going to have the same catalog as a comic book store.
Right. I already gave you that guy.
I would walk in the library, and everybody in the library would say, "Good morning, Shawn."
Exactly. No, not that, but definitely did read a lot of Batman and Spider-Man comics. But probably not as much as you. But if you have read a lot of Batman comics, you know that he is not as weak sauce as you guys are trying to make him sound. Or if you've watched the movies, or if you've watched Gotham or any of.
Because I have read so much Batman material, and I'm talking from Detective Comics in the 1920s up until
that
now.
Batman losing.
He is not as strong as most people make him out to be.
That
He's
Batman is losing.
And he gets lucky to fit the story most of the time. He has good detective skills, but that won't really help him out with a one-on-one fight with Black Widow.
I think he's just equipped better than her, because remember on the movie, he I guess it depends on what version you're talking about, because if you're talking about the Adam West, Black Widow in her current state is going to destroy him. But if you're talking about Christian Bale, or even what's his name, the newest one,
how could you even talk about Rob Pattinson when we haven't seen that movie?
No, not that newest one. The big Ben Affleck. Even him or Christian Bale is
See?
destroying her.
Nah, to keep it a buck, you don't know what you're talking about. I think Adam West would beat Christian Bale. That Batman versus.
What? He just looked way more fit. He looked
See,
like
that's exactly why we have come to the source of your ignorance. You think just because he's bigger that he would beat Black Widow, and it does not work like that.
No, it's not that. He set it up so that every cell phone in the city was giving him a clear picture of what was going on and found the Joker.
That wouldn't have anything to do with, and Black Widow is in his face fighting him. What does he need to find her for? Like I say, he has good detective skills, but that's not going to help him in a one-on-one fight with Black Widow.
Black Widow's winning it. There's no way around it, Shawn.
Exactly. Like,
There is a way around
so
it.
hard. I feel bad.
Yeah, Black Widow will be victorious regardless.
Yeah, I feel bad at how hard Shawn is trying, but it's just not working. You're not making any valid points.
It's not working. Every bit of research I've done on this says that Batman will win, and
but none of that has come out. Every bit of research. The only thing you actually said from the comic books was that he beat Superman. Okay, that was just bad writing. Like
Batman versus Black Widow. I'm gonna see.
Yeah, that really is a bad basis because they never should have wrote him to defeat Superman. Like that's just absurd for them to fucking do. And then it just gives you lineage to just make up, or gives you ground to just say, oh, well, he beat Superman. So, well, if that's the case, then who in the hell would beat Batman? Like, and so you're saying like Batman would just beat everybody? Like,
right. Because if that's the case,
that's essentially what you're saying. Like, not just Black Widow. You're saying he'd beat everybody then.
No, he would lose to Thor. He would lose to. I mean, maybe I don't know, but he would lose to. No, he would lose to Tony Stark.
Superman as the barometer. It doesn't make sense for the Joker to ever beat him if that's the case. But that happens all the time.
No. Right. The reason that Joker can defeat him is the same reason that he can defeat Superman. It's because his mind works in a way that's different than what Batman's mind works.
But that does not make any goddamn sense. It is not true. Like
Batman would beat Superman in a game of chess, but Joker would beat Batman in a game of chess for sure.
We have to switch the topic. We just have to. I'm about to have a stroke. This is too much for me.
Yeah, I've lost where this has even gone. He's just grasping onto just threads here. Yeah.
I have a case here, guys.
Say, okay, in Super Smash Brothers, if Batman picked Jigglypuff, then he would like what? Just bringing up all this irrelevant shit.
No, it's because chess is a barometer for intelligence, and Batman is more intelligent than Superman. But Joker is more random, like he's more off the wall random and more prone to like literally he'll just kill anybody type stuff, where Batman doesn't have that bone in his body. Black Widow is another person who uses traditional intelligence, not like that weird, quirky, mentally insane stuff that Joker uses. So I don't.
Do you think Joker would defeat Hawkeye?
Do I think Joker would defeat Hawkeye? Yes.
You do?
Yes.
This conversation is done.
God, so you're just really partial to the Gotham part of the DC universe. You're not even being realistic. There's no way Joker would defeat Hawkeye, is there?
Yeah, because
like Green Arrow maybe could, but there's no way Joker's defeating Hawkeye. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Joker can't beat anybody but Batman. maybe Robin, Batwoman.
Right. That's why I asked, because that just leverages it perfect, and they're all human. And yeah, if you think Joker would, that just shows how ridiculous you're being with the Batman.
You are strong.
Joker would stand no chance against fucking Hawkeye. No chance against
characters.
Even Kate Bishop, even the second Hawkeye, I don't think Joker would fucking beat.
There's no way. No way. He wouldn't touch her. You're overestimating Batman's intelligence by a lot, and you're overestimating how random and crazy the Joker is. You don't think any of the other villains are crazy? You don't think Dr. Doom is crazy? Like, what does that have to do with anything?
Or you don't think that Black Widow and Hawkeye have dealt with crazy people their whole careers? Yeah.
Like, what kind of shit do you think Black Widow was going through before she was even in the Avengers? What do you think she was doing? Who do you think she was dealing with?
I think she could beat the Joker, but I don't think Batman could. I think it's just different characters. Like there's actual reasons behind that. I think she would lose to I think she would beat the Joker, and Batman would lose to the Joker in some cases, not every case. But then if it was to come down to between a fight between Batman and Black Widow, I haven't found any sources that say that, like different websites and stuff that say
That sources, like, you could really go to the library and check out a scholarly source about Batman fighting Black Widow.
Right. There'd be no point to discuss it if there was some like defined way of, you know what I mean, measuring it. Like, we're delivering a lot more logic than what you are, regardless what some stupid article that you find says. Like,
I don't know. I think if you was to take a poll nationwide, I think you'd find Batman coming out on top of that poll.
Yeah, because a lot of people dick ride Batman for no reason.
yeah.
Because he's dope.
No, because it's probably the first superhero you ever heard of when you were a little kid. You saw the Batman cartoon in the 90s. You're like, oh man, this dude is the coolest because he's dark and broody. And then you just stuck with that your whole life.
Yep.
It's the same thing.
Spider-Man.
Nightwing would beat up Batman. Dick Grayson would beat up Batman. Nightwing would whoop his ass if he wanted to.
Oh, definitely. 200%.
That's a more fair fight.
Black Widow is a more fair fight.
I mean, yeah, that's more fair.
Yeah.
You're right. That's more fair because he's lower tier than Batman, but that's a more fair fight. Dick Grayson.
No, it's more fair because he's a better fighter than Batman by himself. If you're talking about one-on-one, he's better by himself. maybe not in the time that he's his Robin, but by the time Dick Grayson is Nightwing against Batman in his prime, yes, you'd fuck him up.
Yeah, how often does Batman give somebody hands? Like, he usually does detective work. He doesn't usually fight someone one-on-one.
Right. Yeah, Nightwing is like similar to like a hybrid of like Clint Barton and Black Widow. Like, Nightwing will fuck up most humans.
Yeah.
So I read this comic, and there was a one of the villains. Like, all the universe was fighting against each other. So Superman, Batman, the whole Justice League was fighting like Lex Luthor and a bunch of people. Lex Luthor just assembled all the villains, and there was like a super speed ninja guy. I'm not sure his name because Marvel's better than DC. So, but this super speed ninja guy was throwing all these fast punches at Batman, and Batman was just blocking them, and then he just started hitting him. I don't think Black Widow could keep up with that level, but
Shawn, with a lot of those big events, like you're talking about, like even in Marvel when they do like the Secret Wars and the Civil War and all that stuff, or whatever you're talking about with DC, where it's like all the heroes and all the villains. For those big events, they write them where people like Batman and Superman will win in battles they're not usually supposed to, because they need to move the story forward.
And they're in like this team style battle. So that's completely different than a one-on-one. Like, if they're in a one-on-one, they're not going to have all the other shit going on. You know what I mean? They can't come fight somebody that's already wounded. Like, if it's just a straight up one-on-one, there's no way. Like we said, Nightwing would have a better chance. So would Green Arrow. So would a whole bunch of humans in DC. So would, what's his name? Or is Slade Wilson even human? Deathstroke or whatever? He would too. So would Red Hood. So would so many people. Like, Batman's literally, like she said, it's just like a rich dude like that has a whole bunch of equipment and shit. He's not like bred for this shit like all these other people. You know what I mean? Like,
right. He's good because he has detective skills and he has a lot of money and he has Alfred. When he does one-on-one fights, he gets the hands from people like Two-Face, who any other hero in Marvel or DC would be able to easily whoop.
Yeah, he always has Alfred in his ear, or Robin, or both. One of the Robins, or both. Sometimes he even has Robin and like other people, you know what I mean?
He has the police chief with the whole police department on his side. He's a cop. He always has backup.
Right. Where Natasha's S.H.I.E.L.D., she's like a whole unit above that. You know? So even if their universe is merged, like, Shield is still on a higher level than
Right.
the type shit that Batman is doing. Like,
Yeah, you're literally putting a cop against a soldier. Like, which one is gonna win
Right.
in a hand-to-hand fight? The soldier.
I feel like hearing this, you guys would put Black Widow up above like Thor and Hulk and.
No,
no.
no, you can't
But
compare
Batman
Thor
can
and
run with
Hulk to
those people.
Batman. What are you talking about? Batman
Batman,
is
if Batman wanted to, he can run with those people just like Tony Stark could.
Oh,
No.
get out of here. Hulk would Hulk smash Batman so fast.
You guys just said that size doesn't matter, and Batman wouldn't beat Black Widow because
Black Widow is not. Neither of them are the Hulk though. Because like even Iron Man had to build a special suit to fight the Hulk.
Right, and Batman built a special suit to beat Superman, and he would build something in order to beat Black Widow. He would find.
We're talking about the Hulk now. If the Hulk just came out and fought Batman, he would not already have a suit prepared. He would die.
She-Hulk would defeat Batman. There's no way that
like
he would
Batman.
be able to fight with.
How could you compare Batman?
What do you mean
to
not
Hulk?
like Batman? She-Hulk's like a fucking like Colossus. Like there's no way. Like what are you talking about? You're just a really big Batman fan, apparently.
I'm really not. I'm really not. I just know enough to know that Batman holds his own with a lot of people. And
no, because you're not making any sense at all.
No, Batman would get taken out very quickly by other DC people that Arrow has to deal with, like Deathstroke and shit like that. Like he'd get taken out so fast by the Flash's villains and like other people's villains. Like his villains are just all humans.
The Flash and his villains would beat most people because of super speed.
But I mean, everybody's, you know what I mean? Everybody's mini universe in DC, they're dealing with a lot more metahumans, as they're called in DC. There's a lot more metahumans in their sub-universes. Like, not a lot of them come into Gotham, which is where Batman is majority of the time.
Who do you think like power levels wise, it is between Hulk, Juggernaut, and Rhino?
I would say either Hulk or Juggernaut.
You don't think Rhino's keeping up with them?
No.
Do you think they'll bring Rhino into the MCU ever? They're not going to bring Rhino into those, are they?
He did not do a good job in that role. I don't think he'll get screen time again.
I mean, they'll probably pick a different actor if they do.
Yeah, I didn't mean the same actor. I just meant if they bring the character.
Yeah, that's kind of sucked because Rhino is one of my favorite villains, and Paul Giamatti is one of my favorite actors. Obviously, on panels, if you watch panels, you'll see that we have the top actors list, and that he didn't make my list, but he's one of my favorites, like definitely in the top 50 or top 40. Paul Giamatti is real good. And so the combination of those two I thought was going to be excellent, and it just fell so flat.
I didn't think it was horrible, but yeah, it wasn't as good as it wouldn't be to the level of the casting that everything else is once they merge into the MCU. Like it was okay for the Sony ones because I mean the Sony ones were the Sony ones, but I don't think it would hold up going into the MCU.
Yeah, the actors for the villains were so good, but like they didn't hold up to the level of the Green Goblins or Doc Ock or like how good those villains were on the original Spider-Man movies. Those villains were so good.
Yeah.
Well, and I love Jamie Foxx, but that was a weird casting too. Like he's really talented, but he certainly wasn't the optimal Electro. That was a weird ass casting.
Yeah, it's like he's such a good actor, but like that
super weird casting.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like Jamie Foxx as well. They did like they were talking about him being rumored for it, but I would like Jamie Foxx as Spawn.
Oh, that would be cool.
That'd be fire.
But I think they could still use Michael J. White as Spawn again. Idris Elba would be a great Spawn as well.
He would be fire too, yeah. But I wish there was more recognizable people from the Spawn universe. That'd be cool if they made that into a whole like sub-universe.
While we're on this topic, what is some dream casting you would want for Marvel that like MCU? Like now that Marvel's getting all the properties and getting Fantastic Four and all the different X-Men, and who's some people that you just can think of a character that they would fit perfectly?
I can't think of specific characters, but I know there are some actors that I would like to see. I would like to see Yara Shahidi, since we brought her up earlier. I would like to see her in a Marvel movie. I would like to see, I can't think of the actress's name, but have you seen the She's Gotta Have It TV show on Netflix? Mm-mm. That actress, I think she would make an amazing Storm. She's gorgeous and she really looks the part.
Oh yeah, that would be good. I've seen that.
Timothy Chalamet, I just saw him on SNL the other day, but I think he'd be a cool Nightcrawler.
I can see that.
I think that'd be dope.
Yeah.
His bone structure and everything. I think he looked really cool in that role. And there's some people that are already perfectly casted, but I think Atari had said Zac Efron for Human Torch. I think that's just gold.
That would be
That's
perfect.
good.
Yeah, I said that on panels. Yeah, I think Zac Efron would be perfect for Johnny Storm.
I would like to see Giancarlo Esposito either as Magneto or Doctor Doom. I think he'd be perfect in either role.
That would be dope. Have any of you, hopefully they'll go into that once all these other characters die, but have any of you guys read any like the next generation or the new generation of heroes?
Is that like where Wolverine lost his arm?
No, I mean it's where Kate Bishop becomes Hawkeye and where Lady Thor takes over and where all the main cast gets killed off and then the next generation comes in, Miles Morales and
a little bit.
Well, anyway, there's this new one that I got the whole first series of called Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur.
Oh, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur is so good.
And Devil Dinosaur already existed, right? But Moon Girl has came in.
Yep. Oh, I could see Marseille Martin as Moon Girl.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up. God, see, yeah, you're always real similar to what my head's thinking. Yeah, that's what I was thinking though. That's it's Diane from Blackish, Shawn.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that would be off the chain. She's when she and this is who I was talking about, who's the new Hulk. I can't remember what his name is, but another Hulk comes in that has the same powers as the Hulk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like Asian, right?
Yeah, Asian. That's what he is. I think I said Italian before. I was just kind of taking a shot in the dark. But yeah, but I think he's whatever Kai said already. I'd like to see her as Moon Girl. Zac Efron, of course, is Human Torch.
That guy you said, Carlos Esposito, what's his?
Giancarlo Esposito.
I wanted the Matt McConaughey Adam Warlock. I think that would be dope.
That would be badass.
That'd be really fire.
Yeah, what were you saying, Shawn, about Giancarlo?
He needs to be in there somewhere. And Magneto is a really good role, but I just don't know if he's too old because, well, no, he could do him in some versions.
I don't see how he would be too old to play Magneto.
Yeah, Magneto never really seems to be depicted as young. Seems like a lot of his storyline he's already grown.
No, I'm saying Magneto is too old to be played by him. In the that's what I said in some versions. In some versions, because obviously
it all depends
in the newer
where
movies,
they go and what time point. Yeah.
So Giancarlo Esposito is a grandfather. He's not young.
Oh, I'd like to see why you looked that up. I'd like to see Lady Gaga as Dazzler, and I'd like to see Chloe Grace Moretz as Jubilee.
I hate Doja Cat, but I can see Doja Cat as Dazzler.
Yeah, that would be dope. But yeah, I'd like Gaga for that role, and then I would like Chloe Grace for Jubilee. Yeah,
Giancarlo Esposito is 62 years old, and the reason I said him was because obviously the story of Magneto was that he was in the Holocaust, but it's not, since it's 2021 now, the ages wouldn't really match up. They would have to be really old in order to have been in the Holocaust.
Yeah.
So in order to keep it with the same theme of X-Men would be to have it be someone who was involved with the civil rights movement and segregation and all that. And Giancarlo Esposito was born in the 50s. So I think
is he the one who's Gustavo Fring on Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he's really, really dope. Yeah, he's really dope. I like him.
Yeah, you know what, Magneto?
Who are you saying for him to play?
I was saying, I said either Magneto or Doctor Doom.
You know what? You get points.
I could see the Magneto. Doctor Doom wouldn't be bad either, but I think Doctor Doom, because they have the Vaughn in there, I think he should still be depicted Russian.
I mean, Latveria is a fictional place, and Giancarlo was born in Denmark.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what it is. Latvia is what they call it, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and it's just made up like Wakanda, like it's based on something.
Yes,
But it's a made up.
made up.
Okay.
He
Okay.
could be an intimidating Doc Ock.
I like both the ones she said better. I really like the Magneto, the
Yeah.
idea of
I
him
think
as
he would
Magneto.
That's why I said she gets points. She gets
Honestly,
points
Professor
again.
X, he could pull off pretty fucking cool too. But yeah, Magneto, I think would be really good.
I can see
You
Lawrence
know-
Fishburne playing some type of villain in the Marvel universe. I can't think of who, but I could see Lawrence Fishburne.
He
being
could play
amazing.
Doc Ock really
He would be a
well.
great-
Actually, he would make
Yeah.
sense with the fucking like glasses, and he kind of has like the right kind of eyes that it would look how he's usually depicted. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
We're
he
just gonna
does have
find
the
a way
right,
to get
like-
the whole cast of Blackish in the Marvel universe.
Honestly, they're all so fucking talented. Like they would all make sense to be in the Marvel universe somewhere. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like the one dude, Junior would be dope as like Cyclops.
That would be
But
cool.
I think a good Cyclops also is I don't know his name. Do you know Schitt's Creek, Kai?
Yeah, I love Schitt's Creek.
The actor who plays Tad, I think, would be a wonderful Scott Summers.
Ooh,
That would be
he
fucking great.
That would be good casting. Yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't he be a cool Cyclops, Sean? The dude who
Yeah,
plays
he
Ted?
would. What do you think the kid? They said they wanted him as Wolverine, but the kid from Kingsman.
You really like him, huh? What's his name?
I could see him as
Taron
Adam
something?
Warlock.
Yeah, he's a really good actor. I think
What's his name?
carries his role.
Taron Egerton.
Yeah,
He's
Okay.
on my wall in my Rocket Man poster.
yeah.
Oh, I need to see that. Yeah, he killed that, didn't he? It was like highly
Yeah.
acclaimed.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, you gotta watch it, Atari. You'll love it. Yeah, it's not a straight biopic. It's a musical, and Elton John
Oh,
was really
hell yeah.
heavily involved with writing it. So he's just like doing all these musical numbers, and it's all Taron Egerton singing, and he sounds just
Oh,
like
that's
Elton
dope.
John. So some of the songs are changed a little bit for the movie, but it's still amazing. Some of the songs
Well,
I like the movie version better. Like I like the movie version of Rocket Man a lot better than, well, not a lot better, but it's really
Right. Okay.
What was the
Yeah, I
Freddie
gotta
Mercury
check it
one
out.
called?
good. That was Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, that movie was great. That actor did so well.
Oh,
Who's that?
Rami Malek. He could be in the Marvel
Yeah.
universe.
Oh, where? Yeah, where? Who'd you say? He could.
Rami Malek.
No, who could he play?
Oh, I don't know. I could see him as an
Anybody.
X-Man. Honestly, I could see him as Toad. Not even an
Toad.
X-Man. I could see him as Toad.
That'd be fire.
Yeah, he
He'd
kind
be
of has like
another
the
good
frog
Nightcrawler.
eyes. Yeah, he'd be a good Nightcrawler. He could do the accent probably very well.
Yeah, that dude goes off when he's acting.
Who is he?
Honestly, I mentioned Lawrence Fishburne earlier. I would like to see him as Apocalypse. I want to see Apocalypse redone right.
He was.
Oh, that's true. They will recast him probably.
Oscar
Yeah.
Isaac was good. I thought he was scary. Like if
No, I
I
brought this up on panels when I put Oscar Isaac in my top actors. I said the only role I did not like him in was Apocalypse. They did my boy so dirty. Apocalypse is supposed to be one of the most intimidating villains ever in the Marvel universe. Like you can't defeat him. He's evil incarnate. And then like they had Oscar Isaac looking like Ivan Ooze from the Power Rangers movie. Like it was bad.
I liked it.
Yeah, that's true. He might be
When he
better
thumped
there.
it into the wall.
I hope they're gonna bring in who you brought up earlier. I hope they're gonna bring in that dude as Carlton Fisk. Like, I don't really care if they bring it in through Deadpool or Spider-Man or just anything that Kingpin connects to, but they need to bring that fucking, what was his name?
Vincent D. I can never pronounce his last name. D'Orfano as
Vincent something.
Wilson Fisk. Yeah.
Yeah, he's fucking perfect. Yeah, they need to bring him in as the Wilson Fisk. But I think the
Aside
whole
from-
Netflix series they shouldn't recast because I want the same Misty Knight and I definitely want Jessica Jones. I definitely want Brian Coulter or whatever as Luke Cage.
Yeah, they were all great.
I'd
aside
be down
from
to just bring in
Iron
Matt
Fist.
Murdock and Foggy and all them too. Yeah.
Like,
I
I
like
guess they would
Iron
have to
Fist.
bring Iron Fist as the same actor if they used all the other ones, but he was not good. I don't know.
Maybe.
if
I
was
mean,
the
it wouldn't be as
writing
bad
or
as the
him.
Hulk recast because the Netflix kind of started out like connected, but not. Like, I don't think people would be mad if they recasted him unless the new recast was worse.
That's true.
Because who would
I don't
do
know
that?
if
Like,
it's
it's.
just
I
right.
feel like it's. I think that actor got tore up for no reason because it's like, it's kind of a tough role to play. Like you're playing like you're supposed to be like an Americanized white person that was just thrown into this culture. And so, I mean, I think he plays it well, like how he's like, you know, always halfway disoriented until he like fully gets in touch with the chi. Like it makes sense. Like that's how it would be. Like how was he supposed to play it?
He seemed a little too dumb. Like it didn't make sense
I
how
guess
dumb he
that's
was.
true. Like
But I think,
he could be overwhelmed and
yeah,
everything be shaky without seeming like an idiot. Yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
and I think that was more of a writing issue than a him issue. I think people blame the actor because like there are a lot of plot holes. He lived in the United States until he was what 12, but then when he came back, he acted like he had no idea what New York City was. It didn't make sense.
Right, like he was Captain America coming out of the time machine. Like he just couldn't
Yeah.
even fathom what was going on at all. Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to see him redeem himself as Iron Fist because I think they could fix it.
But even that, the people around him, like the girl who fights with him, and like all the people around him are greatly casted. So
Yeah,
I'd be down for him to just bring in all 4 shows and their whole cast. Yeah.
definitely. And I'd love to see a Luke Cage and Iron Fist TV show on Disney Plus because I think Disney Plus would do a lot better of a job.
Mm.
That would be pretty dope. Yeah.
I would love to see Kilgrave in a movie or just have him around again.
Yeah. He was well casted too. The Doctor Who
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, that was great casting.
Yeah, and I really like how Jessica Jones' superhero costume is literally just blue jeans and a leather jacket. Like, it's so
Yeah,
fucking badass.
I have a lot in common with Jessica Jones, and I pretty much dress like her in real life, so I loved it.
Jessica Jones is the shit. I say if Zac Efron is Johnny Storm, then you have, or Sue Storm's supposed to be older, right?
Yeah, she's older.
Oh, well, I don't know if that would work. Well, then if she's supposed to be older, I think it should be Jennifer Aniston and Zac Efron. I think
That would
they
be
would
cute.
look like siblings. They can make
Yeah,
them look like siblings at least.
I would love to
But
see
what I was
Jennifer
gonna say is, I
Aniston.
think they should find a way to force Hilary Duff into something because she's just really hot, and they should definitely try to like put her. Maybe she can pull off Dazzler.
Or Emma Frost. I would like
That
to
would
see
be
her play
dope.
the Boom. Yeah.
She could do Emma Frost. Yeah,
Oh, Hillary Duff. I'm thinking of the girl from Cody Banks or Cody Zack and Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
I don't know
I
if I
forgot
know
her
who's on
name.
that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
forgot her
the
name
only
too.
character I know on that is Zack and Cody.
Yeah, she was also in High
High School
School
Musical,
Musical
yeah.
with Zac Efron. Yeah.
And she's
Okay.
in Phineas and Ferb. Ashley Tisdale.
Yeah, Ashley
Oh,
Tisdale.
okay. Yeah, I'm familiar with Ashley Tisdale. Okay.
Oh, speaking
Yeah,
of
that's
Disney stars, did y'all remember Allie and AJ with Allison Michalka and I don't remember AJ's last name.
why does that sound familiar? Ali and AJ.
I was gonna say I think I know them now, but I don't know if I used to. Like, don't they do music now?
Yeah, they do music now, but Allie was on Phil of the Future on
Hmm.
Disney Channel.
Okay,
She was
I
Phil's
didn't
like
know
love
that.
interest. I could see her since she does music and she's blonde and bubbly. I could see her as Dazzler.
You know who would be crazy for Storm
Who?
is one of the girls from Chloe and Haley that are
That
on
would,
Grownish with Yara.
yeah, that would be
That
great.
would
But
be
I feel like they're too
bananas. One of them
young.
as Storm. Like one of them would have been a cool Shuri too. But yeah, one of
Yeah.
them as Storm would be badass.
I feel like they're too young though.
I mean, it depends where you go with it. And I guess if T'Challa's gone, then Storm would have to be older. Yeah, that's true. It would depend where the angle, like, or the point in time that it was at.
Yeah,
Yep.
but they should have casted one of them back in X-Men Apocalypse.
Mhm.
Yeah, either way, they should figure out roles for one of them, or if at any point there's like actual sisters in the storyline that they could cast them as, you know?
This might be an unpopular opinion, but I wish they would create more new characters for the movies. Like I think the
Right.
MCU should have more original characters.
You mean like newer ones that are also in the comics, or just their
No,
own,
I
just
mean
that appear in
original.
movies?
Yeah, they're just
Okay,
Have
premiering.
they
Like
done that
how?
before?
What'd you say?
a
They've done that
couple.
before?
I think they have. Yeah, I think a couple. They don't
Not
do it too
like,
often, but
I know
they
they
do.
did it in the X-Men universe, but I didn't know they did that in the MCU.
I don't know if they ever have for somebody who gets suited up, but they've done it a few times for like lower
Oh
level
yeah,
characters, but
Yeah,
like
nobody
T.I.'s
that has
character
their
and
own
stuff.
costume and shit like that. Like, yeah,
yeah.
I guess I'd be kind of open to that to some degree.
Because if they do it right, it could work. Because like even look at how Harley Quinn started off in the Batman cartoon, and look at how popular she is now.
That's true. She was actually well casted. But then again, it's not the DC cast bad. They just let the movies fall apart right when they get to the sequel or right when they get to the second one of the series.
They actually cast really well, and they cast people sometimes who look more like superheroes than Marvel. Like those people really look like superheroes. Like naturally,
I can't really bash the casting. It's just the execution a lot of the time. Yeah.
The tallest people in Marvel are I think Loki and Thor, and they're like the average height for the people in DC for the Justice League. Ben Affleck's like 6'4", Ray, what's his name? The Cyclops dude, Cyborg. He's like 6'4". A lot of them are like that height.
But that's in alignment with the comic books too. I think that's why a lot of people identify with Marvel comics more, is because the characters are more regular people aside from having powers, whereas the DC characters always were like godlike. But I just thought about a character who was invented for the Marvel movies who was super popular. He's dead now, but Agent Coulson wasn't in the comic books.
Oh, that's right. They did make him afterwards, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
And
he is. So it
popular.
gets to. I never finished it because it started to get kind of boring. So he really dies for real at the very end of all the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Oh, I never watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but yeah.
Okay. Oh, because that does happen in between before he goes and dies, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Because, yeah, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is pretty crazy. Like, I hope they bring up to a certain point. Like, the later seasons, it got kind of boring. But I hope they bring Chloe Bennett as Quake, and she was dope as Quake in there.
Yeah, for sure.
And then they also did that blue dude, like the Park Creed dude, like the big, tall, I can't remember what he was called, but a few of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s characters were good. And then obviously Coulson himself was dope and well casted, yeah.
Yeah,
I remember
Coulson
they
was a
did
great
that
character,
for
and I
the...
think they should do that more often.
Right, they did that. I remember, I think that's what this shirt's based on. But I remember they did it for the X-Men animated series. They had that, remember Morph?
Oh, yeah. I love
Like he was just made for the cartoon. He wasn't part of the comics.
Yeah, X-Men did it a couple of times. But like what's her name? Psylocke or something? The girl with the two red swords or purple swords? Yeah, she was made up, and that she was a really good character.
No, she wasn't made up.
I don't think
British.
that's true.
She's
That's
in the comics.
Let me see.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
pretty sure Psylocke premiered in the comics, but I could be wrong.
No, she did. I wouldn't be off about this because, as I said, Psylocke is one of the British characters. Psylocke is English, and Psylocke.
Yeah, I don't think. I think Psylocke is a different person than what I'm talking about.
Yeah, because
Psylocke. I don't know if they do her that way in the X-Men, but Psylocke's British. Like she's British American.
Yes, she is, and she was like Big Ben's sister, right? Captain Britain, whatever.
Yeah, she was in like the Excalibur. She was in like the British version of the X-Men or Avengers Excalibur. Yeah.
Yeah, she's Captain Britain's sister, and she premiered in the comics in like the 80s. So she's definitely not created for the cartoon.
It says she was, but I thought they said that she was created for it in the like behind the scenes.
No, she
That's
was
one of the lesser ones I read with
in
X-Men.
like the 80s.
She might have been like the Guardians of the Galaxy where they just pulled her into something else. Like I think what it's saying is that they forced her into the American storyline for the movies. When in the comics, most of the time she's just in the British shit. Like she's just in their world. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But even then, she became an X-Man in the comic books before the cartoon even came out.
Oh, did
yeah,
she? Yeah, that's what I was suggesting is maybe they just put her in the X-Men for the movies, but that even happened before any of the cartoons or movies?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she was created by Chris Claremont, who was like an X-Men veteran writer.
You know who one of the dopest British ones is? Who would be hard to cast? Would be Mr. Sinister.
Ooh, I love Mr. Sinister.
That would be insane. I don't know who they would have do that.
Who is that actor? I can't think of his name. He was in like a lot of Jane Austen adaptation movies. He was in The Kingsman. He was like the main character's mentor in The Kingsman.
Oh, that dude is good.
I could see him as Mr. Sinister.
I know we've mentioned him in like 90 different things, but he's British and has like a really distinct voice. What about fucking Idris Elba as Mr. Sinister?
Oh, that would be beautiful. Okay,
he never gets to fucking do any roles in his natural voice. Like all his roles he has to play in American. So it'd be awesome for Idris to be able to just actually be like an evil British dude with a deep ass voice. You know, they'd probably alter it a little bit like Groot, like
Yeah,
they'd make it even crazier, like by effects. But
I was thinking of Colin Firth as the actor I was talking about from The Kingsman. But I could also see, now that I think about it, Mark Strong, who was also
Yeah, that's what I thought you were talking about.
Yeah, I could see him now that you mention it. But also Ralph Fiennes, who plays Voldemort, I could see him doing it because he's also a British actor.
oh, that would be dope. Yeah, I mean, I would think it would be cool to have an actual British actor, but they also have to be able to do like a ruthless, like distinct voice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What about Colin Farrell?
Colin Farrell, the guy who's playing Penguin. No, one, he's not actually British, and two, even if he was an American playing a British, he wouldn't be a great Mr. Sinister.
He's Irish.
He wouldn't be a good Mr. Sinister.
Mr. Sinister is not Irish though, so an Irish accent would be off.
That's true.
Yeah, it's completely different. It'd be same difference as an American if you're asking an Irish person to play straight up British, yeah, or straight up English.
Okay, do you guys have a final topic to go into?
I just want to say that if there's any points, then I've got the most points. Obviously, I've came in and I've received the most points since Shawn Bender always wants to make everything into a game.
I think what really matters is that Shawn lost. That's what matters.
Right. The most important thing is we know who is in the bottom of the standings, and that of course was the Bend man. That was.
I'm pretty sure you guys need to check your genealogy and see if you guys are related. These are just the mean family.
I don't think we're related. Yeah, that was a swing and a miss. Another swing and a miss for Shawn Bender.
My feelings. See, this is why you guys are in the mean family. What movie do you want to see made into a video game, any genre, and the reverse?
Okay, so the video game I would love to see made into a movie. It's already been converted into an anime on Netflix. But the story, there's just so much to go into with the story. You can make movies for decades off of this story. And I would love to see Castlevania made into a movie. Like, there's so many different generations of the main character's family, the Richters and the Belmonts, dealing with these vampires. And vampires, that's just timeless subject matter. It never gets old. Everyone loves Dracula. Everyone knows Dracula. So even if you've never played the Castlevania games, it's like basically these people hunting Dracula, which anyone can relate to and enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, someone does need to do Castlevania justice. That would be dope.
Yeah, that'd be a fire movie.
That had a crazy soundtrack on the old school ones.
As Richter Belmont.
This new Cyberpunk game would probably be an interesting movie, but I don't know like what they would cast it like or whatever. I don't know. That'd be in.
Well, nowadays it'd be hard to stand out because there's lots of like cutting edge, futuristic looking movies. Like, I don't think it would stand out as a film like it does as a game.
Yeah, they already have Keanu Reeves in the game, so if they casted anyone else in his role, it would kind of be stupid. But then if he does anything else sci-fi, it's just going to be compared to The Matrix, which I don't think this thing could stand against The Matrix.
No.
Yeah, definitely not.
No.
I would think they could make something cool like, like Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones-esque out of Link, the Legend of Link and Searching for Zelda. And, I think they can make dope Link shit. Because, it would be like, isn't he in like medieval times?
Yeah, who would you want to see play Link?
Oh, fuck. Timothy Chalamet would be dope for that.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
I think he would kill that shit because I feel like Link should be like this little, like, I don't know. It just feels like he should be like a little Peter Pan type dude. You know what I mean? Like,
I was definitely going to say Timothy Chalamet.
I was going to say the same thing. I think you were thinking that when you set it up was that if he said anybody else, that's who you were going to say. Because
if we could learn the sword fighting and shit,
I hope he doesn't say Timothy Chalamet.
Because he looks like Link to me.
Yeah, he does.
I would actually love to see, and this would be a completely different direction, especially because Link has blonde hair and blue eyes, so a lot of people would be mad at this. But I would love to see Zolo Mariduela. He's in the Cobra Kai Netflix TV show. He's the main character, Miguel. And he's very cute. He's very lovable. I think he would be a perfect Link.
Yeah, like I don't think it should be a rough around the edges guy. Like I think the way he looks in video form, like he would be a somewhat attractive, but then somewhat like boyish, like not like
Yeah.
rugged looking, but you know what I mean, not ugly either. But like I said, with a different when we were talking about something earlier, unless the role like leans on their race, then if anybody has a problem with the race, they're fucking dipshit. Like it only matters if it ties into their actual storyline, and it's never like Link's, family was tied to anything that would be specific to being a like white person or. So I think you can make them as anyone, but I do think the hair is kind of trademark. But you could still have, just like braids, like as long as the hair hangs and moves, you could have whatever if the hair
The
moves, I
dude,
feel like.
the dude has the same hair texture as Link. I'm gonna send you his name because it's hard.
Yeah, I
to
looked him up.
Okay.
Because if you did go any race, he may be too tall, but at the same time, if you just cast other people, you can make them look shorter by comparison. And I always lead to all these universes, but just like we said, they're so fucking stacked. By that I mean the blackish, grownish, mixedish universe. But I would really like to see oh, what the hell's his name? The really artsy dude that Zoe's with for a minute.
Oh, the one Luca.
Luca, yep. Yeah. I would
Yeah.
like to see Luca as Link if it was going to be just any race, you know what I mean? Luca would be fucking dope, and he would be able to fit it if you clean shaved him. And then, like I said, he could still have, like, I feel like Link needs to have hair. He can't really be short haired, but he could have his hair similar to how he wears it in Grownish. Wasn't Zelda young? If that was the case, it would be fucking beautiful if they made Yara Zelda and then they made Luca Link. That would be really, really dope because they have on-screen chemistry, obviously. Like,
What do you guys think about Halo as a movie?
Haven't they
I
already
feel
done Halo movies?
Yeah, they did at least one, but like I said, it was like made for Redbox. I'm talking about like a premiere actual film of it.
I think that works better when you do it reverse order, like GoldenEye after the 007 movies. And when I say that, I mean shooter games. I don't think a lot of shooter games you can convert into very cool movies with very much substance or anything that fans are going to nerd out about, because it's like they're a shooter game. There's not super deep like intertwinements between characters and shit like that. Like even if you get all the way to the end of a shooter game, there's not nearly as much substance as like an RPG, obviously. Like, so I don't think that would be. I would rather see a fucking movie made out of the iconic Sims characters with like Bella Goth and like Mortimer Goth and like the land grabs, and that would be fucking like a comedy. That would be fire.
With the Halo movie, though, the soundtrack will be fire because the soundtrack for the games is fire.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of beautiful imagery. They're traveling to all these different planets. And then, like, even just the Halo itself, like, that would be beautiful to see on a screen.
I don't know how Microsoft does that. Microsoft games always have the best soundtracks.
Didn't they try it and it didn't work that well? Like, didn't they make it into a movie already or try to?
It was a good movie.
It was
wasn't
like,
bad.
Oh, it was
wasn't
decent?
it animated or something?
No, I mean, I think they have an animated series or something like that. I don't know too much about it, but I know that they had an actual movie called, I don't remember, but it's a Halo movie. Let me look it up. Halo movie. And it was good.
Animated.
I could have swore I saw it on like Hulu or Netflix or yeah.
They definitely did have a movie on
Forward Unto Dawn. I think
Forward Unto Dawn was animated.
Is that it? Wait.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you might be right.
I don't know if Umbrella Academy has one, but that would be a show I'd like to see a video game for.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
That would be fun. That would definitely be fun.
And you could have it, like similar to like one of those RPG like adventure games where you could choose any of the kids and start until they meet up with each other. Like, so there'd be like 7 different ways you could get to like the midpoint. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would definitely be a fun game.
Umbrella Academy is in the same universe as a couple other things. It's not DC or Marvel, of course, but there's some decent comics tied into their shit.
I need to watch more of that. I've only watched a couple episodes, like 3 episodes of Umbrella Academy, but they were good, the ones I saw.
Yeah, you should catch up.
Yeah.
And I would definitely recommend the comic books. They're written, I don't know if you used to listen to My Chemical Romance, but they're written by the lead singer of My Chemical Romance.
Oh, that's crazy. I didn't know that. I haven't read that comic since it's not Marvel. I just discovered it when they put the show out. It might be Kick-Ass, isn't it? Dark Horse, or it's the same universe as Kick-Ass, right?
Kick-Ass is Marvel or DC?
No, Kick-Ass is Dark
But
something.
Kick-Ass is in an imprint of DC, so it's not officially DC.
Yeah, it's basically just like when they have
Vertigo.
distribution deals with big labels and shit. Like it's not an actual Marvel or DC. It's just an imprint on it.
Yeah, so Image Comics was created when a bunch of people.
Image Comics, yeah.
Yeah, Image was created when a bunch of people left Marvel. So it's not, I don't even think they're under Marvel. It's just a lot of Marvel writers left and formed.
Exactly, yeah. There's also another one besides Image that's Dark Horse.
Yeah, so, Dark Horse made the Star Wars comics before Marvel did.
Yeah.
They used to make the non-canon ones.
Yeah, but under DC is Vertigo Comics. So I think that's what like Watchmen was, and that's what like a bunch of other stuff is.
Yeah.
Yeah, which sometimes they've tied that in, but Image is different. Yeah. Like Image was just like former writers, like she was saying, and they just branched off and did their own shit. I don't remember what Dark Horse was.
From everything.
Isn't Dr. Manhattan Watchmen?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like super powerful, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he is.
So what was Umbrella Academy and then Dark Horse?
I think it was either Image or Dark Horse. I can't remember. Let me look it up. Umbrella Academy is Dark Horse. So Dark Horse has no affiliation with Marvel or DC.
Yeah, Dark Horse is something. Dark Horse used to have the latest comics.
Dark Horse had the Alien comics.
Okay, I was going to say they still should have shit that they can cross over. Image is where Spawn is, but I can't remember what else was on Image.
Yeah, Image has a lot of good stuff. Yeah, Image has Spawn, Walking Dead, Saga.
Okay. The Phantom? What the hell is the Phantom?
The Phantom is kind of whack. It's kind of like a knockoff Batman.
Okay. And then the other one that's halfway prevalent, the other one was with a V, right? Variant? Isn't Variant like the other? Or I think Variant folded, maybe.
Yeah, I think they folded. Another big one was IDW. So IDW, I know they did the Transformers comics. I can't think of what else.
G.I. Joe, then.
Yeah. Basically, all that like 80s cartoon stuff is IDW.
Oh, probably Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I don't know who did them, but I think theirs in the same.
Yeah, I think that might be IDW as well. They also apparently have a Cobra Kai comic book that I need to read.
You remember Space Ghost? And then he had a talk show later in his career?
I love Space Ghost.
Oh, Space Ghost was the shit. He was Hanna-Barbera. He was one of their only heroes. He's in the universe of all those like cartoon animals and shit. Like Yogi Bear and Droopy the dog. And
G.I. Joe, who I'm repping right now, that's IDW.
What is He-Man and She-Ra?
That's also Hanna-Barbera.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, did you guys used to listen to Old Time Radio?
No, I don't.
That was like Green Hornet, The Shadow, Bob Hope was on there. A lot of those stars used to come through there, and they would like, what was that cowboy's name? I don't remember. That was good though. I used to like Old Time Radio.
No, I don't really know anything about that. I know the Green Hornet, but
yeah, I've seen the Green Hornet TV show, like the old one.
Yeah. It was just audio? Like they would just read stories of the Green Hornet?
Before they had TV, everything used to play on the radio. So they would have serialized shows, and they were put on through Old Time Radio. I think Old Time Radio is just the title for those old radio shows. But yeah, like the Green Hornet was on there. They had a Superman one. They had a
lot of comics started on the radio. I thought you were talking about like a show called Old Time Radio. I didn't know you meant just like in general listening to shows on the radio.
Yeah, I think everything that's from that era.
Oh, yeah, I did too. I thought you meant either a TV or a radio show that was called Old Time Radio that was like in the early thousands or something.
Look it up. I think Old Time Radio might be the name of what all that is.
I mean, those were just shows that just played on the radio.
I think it's just
a name.
referred to as that. It wasn't called that, like a block. Like I thought you meant it was like a block that they played. Yeah.
No, but if
Because
you
when it came out, it wouldn't have been old time. It was just how they were doing it.
that makes sense. No, you're right. No, but I think that's what the collection is called. When you get a collection of those old shows, it's called Old Time Radio. But you can get all those different stuff on Old Time Radio. That's just the name of it is called Old Time Radio. Like when they say books on tape, and it just means.
Yeah,
books.
I've listened to like different radio shows from that era. Like I've listened to old episodes of soap operas. I've listened to War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was one of the ones I was going to bring up is the War of the Worlds. That was crazy because they broadcast it like, and they didn't tell people that it was a made up thing. That's where the movie and everything came from. But yeah, they just broadcast it like it was an actual event happening on the news.
Like it was news.
Yeah.
Well, no, they told everyone that it was fictional, but that's the thing. Like with all my PR classes, we had to learn about this shit. But they told everyone that it was fictional. They had the warning beforehand, but because it was on the radio, you can't rewind or anything. So if you're listening in the middle of the show, you tune in and they're talking about aliens destroying the world, and then they think people thought it was really going on.
Yeah, they were calling the police and stuff.
Oh shit, that's funny.
Yeah,
that makes sense though, because you couldn't go back at all. You just tune in when you tuned in. You get home from work and turn it on, and wherever the hell it was at was just where you'd pick up. Yeah.
Gunsmoke. That was the one I was talking about. The cowboy show. Gunsmoke was so good.
I've never listened to it as a radio show, but I've seen it on TV. If you were a Powerpuff Girl, which one would you be? Blossom, Bubbles, Buttercup, or would you be like one of the other ones they had?
The pink one.
Blossom.
Yeah, that's right. They brought those new ones in the newer seasons, huh?
Yeah.
I never finished all the newer seasons.
I'd be the pink one because pink is my favorite color.
I think I would be Buttercup. I already have the Buttercup hair. I'm kind of aggressive. I bully you all the time, Shawn. So it would fit.
Yes, that's true.
I do look better in pink, but I'll wear the green.
And Bubbles is the blonde one with the blue eyes, right?
Yeah.
I'd be Bubbles.
That's it, guys. We build our squad.
I can see
Bubbles is also Tara Strong is voiced by Tara Strong, who's also Twilight Sparkle and all kinds of fucking different voices for like iconic cartoons.
Yeah, she's the best.
Kids cartoons and a few adult cartoons appearances. Like Tara Strong is like the fucking Brad Pitt of voice acting. Like
she's a legend.
She's a beast. Yeah.
Did you guys hear that Archer actor had a stroke and lost his voice?
Who?
I don't know. I just saw the headline.
Archer? What do you mean? The Bob's Burger guys? John Benjamin?
I know. That's why I'm like, who? It better not be him.
Yeah, not H. John Benjamin.
Not the main guy.
Okay.
He does some live action shit now too. He does commercials for somebody. Arby's, right? Isn't it Arby's? He does commercials for somebody, H. John Benjamin.
So. It's some fast food place.
And he does a lot of cameos, but yeah, he appears a lot more physically than he used to. But yeah, he's one of the goats of the voice acting too.
Yeah, his voice
probably the top male. He's probably right there with Tara Strong. Like they need to have a show that him and Tara Strong are the main two characters, a cartoon.
He is Woodhouse and Hans Hessler. I don't know who those are.
Woodhouse was Archer's butler.
Oh, so he lost his voice.
Damn.
Yeah, I know who both of those are.
Or whatever.
He said also Hans, the crazy scientist.
Oh, I didn't hear you say Hans. Damn.
He was both those people, yeah.
I didn't know they were the same actor.
Oh man, he's such an asshole to Woodhouse.
I know.
He's so mean to Woodhouse.
Terrible.
Voice acting seems like so much fun. I would love to do that.
It's a lot of fun.
That probably would be fun.
You still have to like physically act it out for it to come across right, but you can just dress however you want and be comfortable, and yeah, it would be a cool gig.
It's probably more difficult though, because you don't have whoever you're acting with right in front of you to like act off of them.
Yeah, I think that's why a lot of times when they show them behind the scenes, they're like exaggerating and animating more than they actually would, because they have to keep themselves like submerged and psyched out, because you can't interact with the other person. Yeah.
But they read lines off of them, so you have that to act off of.
Sometimes they don't always even do that. Yeah.
They're in the booth by themselves, just recording all their lines.
Right. Usually it's done
all the
like a
times I've seen
music
it, they've
collab,
had
like they
somebody
record
like
it separate.
reading the alternate lines.
Now, even a lot of actors in cartoons are like, I've never even met this person until
No.
did a panel.
Not the other actor, but like a producer or something will read the other actor's lines. Because I've seen that in Rick and Morty. The dude playing the dude playing Rick, somebody was reading Morty's lines and he was acting off of him. But yeah, not the other actor.
Oh, okay.
Right, I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's like a placeholder like that. Yeah, there's probably somebody sitting in there saying the lines. I get what you're saying. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but that's more for timing.
Yeah.
Right, because the lines that they're saying back, the actor could improvise and they could end up using something different. So yeah, I mean, it's just a template that they're doing that in between for, and to give them timestamps so they don't just feel like they're just rambling off all these lines at once. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean that's at least something. So I think if you're a good actor, that's gonna be enough for you. You know, like when some actors have to act against like a ball, and then it's like a character animated later, and they're able to do a lot with that.
Well, and I would hope that they see some renders of what the characters are going to look like. Like, it would make it a lot easier, obviously, if they're showing you a drawing of this is what your character looks like and this is what everybody you're talking to looks like, and you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because cartoons, especially when it's non-human cartoons, like I'd want to know how everybody looks, like, and how my character, how I'm voicing is appearing. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some where they have the scene playing just without audio while the person is reading the lines.
Who do you think are some of the dopest people that have done voice acting? Like, what's a character that stood out to you for their voice acting?
I think Keith David has a very recognizable voice. I already mentioned H. John Benjamin. His voice is, you know him anytime you hear him.
Yeah, I was going to say H. John Benjamin, Tara Strong, Kristen Shaw. Kristen Shaw is a voice icon. Will Arnett's pretty great. I mean, Will Arnett's so great that he does the Reese's with just audio only now. He does the Reese's commercial with no video, just straight up voice. And he's BoJack Horseman. He's quite a few, yeah.
I like Rocket Raccoon. I think his voice is cool. But that's like live action, and but that's what this kind of like it's like live action. But I think the coolest one that was like a voice that somebody did that was just really dope was Smaug from The Hobbit. What's his name? Benedict Cumberbatch. Yeah, I thought he did really good in that.
Alison Brie is as good as a voice actress too. She's also in BoJack Horseman at some point.
Eugene Levy did good in Over the Hedge.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, that was a funny, cute little movie.
I don't have kids.
Oh yeah.
I mean, what's his name? And I think he was in Big Mouth. Isn't John Mulaney do a lot of voice work too? Like, he's funny as fuck.
I've only heard him in Big Mouth, but he's really good. Nick Kroll as well from Big Mouth.
I was gonna say I'd definitely put Nick Kroll in there. I already said Kristen Shaw. I'd probably put Maya Rudolph too. She only has a couple. She has a few now actually, because there's that new shit with Kristen Wiig, Bless the Hearts, and it's in the lineup with Family Guy and The Simpsons and all that, and she's also in that. So she has like 3 or 4 under her. So yeah, I'd put Maya Rudolph there for voice actor too. She's always phenomenal in her voice actor roles.
Speaking of The Simpsons, Hank Azaria does a great job. Outside of the Apu controversy, like all of his other characters are fantastic.
Yeah,
true. Outside and inside the Apu controversy, all his characters are just fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I respect his choice to step down as him, but I'm not going to say Apu sucked just because it was a white guy playing the role. Like, regardless if it was appropriate or not, he did well with it, I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't really say like a stereotypical Indian accent was his best work. I mean, he did a good job not stepping out of the accent, but I wouldn't, like, offensive or not, I wouldn't really say that was an example of good voice acting. But in his other roles, he's done a great job.
I feel you. Yeah, he's like 17 of them or some shit. Isn't he like a lot of the characters in the town?
He's like half of the cast.
You guys know who D. Bradley, what's his name? D. Bradley Baker. Do you guys know who he is?
familiar.
He's from Clone Wars. He plays the Clone Troopers, but he does a lot of stuff. Like
I mean, possibly if I saw him, I don't know him by name.
his voice is crazy. Or let me
Does
figure out
Hank
who to put it.
Azaria whatever do shit outside of Simpsons, or is he on like a 360 contract with Matt Groening?
I know he was in a live action TV show. I think that was on IFC. Yeah, it was on IFC. But I can't think of any more animation that he's done.
Who voiced? Oh, definitely fucking Seth MacFarlane, because he does a plethora of. I think you got to put Seth MacFarlane there too.
Oh
For
yeah,
the best
for
voice
sure.
actors. Like, yeah, definitely Seth. And who's Wendy in American Dad? That's also Christian Shaw, right? That is Christian Shaw.
Yeah.
Okay. Not Wendy or no, that's Wendy Shaw. That's her sister, because her name's not Wendy in American Dad. It's Francine.
Mm-hmm.
That's her sister. That's Wendy Shaw, which I think is also up there. Both of the
Yeah.
Shaw sisters are very good at voice work. And Kristen is also, of course, Louise in Bob's Burgers with
H. John
Benjamin.
Benjamin.
Also in Clone Wars, did you know that the Obi-Wan actor is Johnny Test?
Yeah.
That's so crazy to me.
Okay, the one who voices him in the cartoon?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Johnny Test,
Okay.
yeah. That's crazy.
Also, I don't know if you guys keep up with The Walking Dead, but the actor who plays Ezekiel, Carrie Payton, he's known for doing like a bunch of DC animated work. Like he's done Cyborg and cartoons and in the Injustice video games. He's done a few characters in Young Justice. Let's see. Like he has very extensive voice acting work. He's actually done a few one-off episodes of American Dad and Family Guy. Like if you look at his IMDb, you've seen him everywhere. But now The Walking Dead was pretty much his first big live action role.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think of is voices that I, hear come in as a lot of like cameos, because those are the hitters, that everybody wants to pay just to come through for short times, even if that's all they can get them.
Oh, the dude who lost. Okay, that dude that we were talking about that lost his voice is the narrator from Clone Wars. I was wondering who he was in Clone Wars. He's the narrator.
I didn't know that.
What's he? He's do you know Venture Bros, right, Kat? Do you know Venture Brothers?
Yeah.
The Venture Bros. Brock Sampson,
The guy who plays Brock Sampson is Patrick Warburton, and he was in The Emperor's New Groove. He played Kronk. He's in a few video games. He was in Joe Dirt 2, which I did not know there was a sequel to that.
Yeah, he's in a good amount of live action shit too, but I think he's one of the best when it comes to voice acting for animated
his
stuff.
voice is so. Oh, he's Joe in Family Guy.
But I guess, also he's Joe. I was gonna say, I know he has another like a really big role. Like, okay, yeah, that.
Oh, and he's I know who this dude is. He's Lemony Snicket. Yeah.
He's the narrator for Unfortunate Events too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's dope, and he does pretty wide array of shit. I like Venture Bros the most because he's like pretty vulgar, but then again with Joe, he like snaps and shit. It's really funny with Joe on Family Guy too.
Yeah, and he was in Kim Possible, and he was in The Tick. I don't know if you've ever seen that cartoon, but I love that show. What
about Lydia Dietz in the cartoon?
Let me look that up.
The Beetlejuice. That probably was
Gerson.
Lydia might have been Tara Strong.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Right, I wouldn't either. Oh, The Tick was good. Remember Freakazoid?
Oh, I love Freakazoid.
I like Freakazoid too. Freakazoid, Space Ghost. The Tick wasn't bad. Wasn't my favorite either, though.
Yeah, it was funny, but I don't think I watched it religiously.
All right. I
It probably would be
hyped
better
about
now
it like those
as
other
an
ones.
adult.
Do you remember Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law?
I fucking loved Harvey Birdman. That
It
show
was
was
really
so
bomb
funny.
too.
All right, so this has been another awesome episode of Nerdity. Thank you again to our guest, Atari Monroe, for coming through. I am Kai Rita Repulsa Von Doom.
And I am Shawn, Carmely, almost Black Ranger.
Hated that every time.
And I'm Dirty Dave.
And this has been Nerdity. Have a good night.